Yuuji, 寮に着いたわよ。
Hello and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. This episode I'm naked bar a towel and headphones and I guess at the moment glasses. I wear contacts normally. Okay, thank you. If you want to know why I'm naked, shower. Yeah. Opening my eyes at the sound of JB's voice. It has nothing to do with the sexuality bonus. No, it has nothing to do with that. Definitely, 100%. God, you guys are not gonna believe me, are you? Opening my eyes at the sound of JB's voice. I reached down to unfasten the seatbelt strapped across my body.
ごめんなさいね。遅くなりそうなのは分かってたけど、日付までまたぐことになっちゃって。
Not like you have anything to apologize for. This is hardly the first time I spent an entire day on standby.
でも、サチに悪いことしちゃった気がして。
Oh my goodness, you're capable of feeling empathy. Bruh, fucking oh. Sachi, alright.
だから、明日はサチをデートにでも誘って、埋め合わせしておいてね。
Insane.
ほら、今は夏なんだし、海なんかに連れて行ってあげたら、きっと喜ぶと思うわよ。
That is not the worst idea. Come to think of it, something like that might be called for right about now. Our first date was pretty casual, a low-effort affair, after all.
その顔は可能性ありって感じね。
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
それじゃ、今日はお疲れ様。
Right. Thanks for the ride.
おかえりなさい、ゆうくん。
Yo. As I'm watching JB's car screech off into the distance, Sachi calls out to me from sides of the school gate. Oh, Sachi, please don't tell me you've been out here all night.
いえ、そろそろゆうくんが帰ってくるような気がしたので、少し前からです。
Oh, if it's nearly midnight, maybe she bet on the idea that I'd be back before the end of the day. A little while, huh? Don't know what exactly a little while is for Sachi, but her hair is visibly damp and it hasn't been raining for some time. Anyway, thanks for coming out to meet me.
はい、ゆうくんの方こそ、お仕事お疲れ様でした。
Instead of speaking my thoughts, I drop my hand into Sachi's head and ruffle her hair. Soon enough, I receive a small, satisfied smile in return.
それから、お食事はもうお済みでしょうか？
No, I haven't eaten yet.
でしたら、私の方でご用意させていただいていたものがありますので、そちらをすぐに準備させていただきます。
Alright, that'd definitely be a help this time.
それから、皆さんにはお話を通しておきましたので、大浴場もいつでも入浴することができますよ。
How nice of you.
あ、すみません。少し出しゃばりすぎてしまいましたでしょうか。
No, but you're really obliging tonight, even for you. Almost like a genuine maid.
ゆうくんはメイドさんがお嫌いですか？
Wouldn't say that, but I do feel a little awkward getting waited on hand and foot.
それでしたら心配ありません。今の私はメイドさんである前にゆうくんの彼女ですから。
But maybe I don't want my girlfriend to actually act like a maid to me in that sense, you know? I see. Kinda feels like she's just dancing around the issue, but I guess it's a coherent argument, maybe, possibly?
それよりまた雨が降り出さないうちに中へどうぞ。
Yeah, okay, sounds like a plan.
無事に帰ってきてくれて本当に良かったです。
Alright. I'm gonna keep making promises until there's a promise I can't keep anymore. And it's just gonna be so sad.
風見くんが帰ってきたのね。はい。榊さんにアドバイスをいただいた通り、食事の後、ゆうくんを大浴場に誘導することに成功しました。
Oh, this is what she meant by girlfriend first and maid second.
さすが小峰さん。プランに忠実ね。
What are you doing, exactly? I have a guess, but...
それも、榊さんに完璧な作戦を考えていただいたおかげです。私の功績なんて大したものではないけれど、あとは教室で勉強した成果を見せるだけね。はい。この小峰幸、榊さんから教えていただいた知識を駆使して一生懸命頑張ります。
What on earth do you have planned?
ええ、陰ながら応援している
Huh.
わ。
Wiping a few beads of sweat from my forehead, I sink into the bathtub down to the neck and let my muscles relax. I ended up stuck on the job for 12 straight hours today. Ultimately, the rat we were waiting for never showed. So I spent every minute of that on standby. After holding the exact same position for all that time, my body's aching and stiff all over. In my experience, a long soak in hot water is the best way to fix that. Changed, huh? JB said her observation applies to both of us, but I'm not really aware of anything different about my behavior. And again, I don't think she's wrong about Sachi. The girl's gotten noticeably thoughtful about the situation she finds herself in, and she's been asking questions on her own initiative, actively seeking to understand the meaning of people's actions. But maybe she's just doing that because I told her to. Nah. Yeah, I didn't see much of either from Sachi before. They represent clear changes in her normally static pattern of behavior. Now we just have to see what kind of results they bring. Yeah, no problems. Okay, hold on a second. How long have you been in here? Oh, that's nice. I didn't even hear you come in. You all stealthy maid, Sachi. Yeah, I wasn't completely off guard either. How do you sneak up on me like that? Great. Easy enough to talk about moving silently, but in practice, walking without producing sound is very nearly impossible. Stealth requires a great deal of skill, especially when approaching an alert opponent. And Sachi managed to get this close without tipping me off. And that joke about being a spy in maid's clothing doesn't seem quite so funny anymore. Alright. So why did you sneak in here? You clearly knew I was taking a bath. Wash my back. Maybe? The exact connection between showing her gratitude and rinsing my back kind of eludes me, but Sachi brought up this proposal on her own. Whatever the details, I want to encourage that sort of initiative on her part. Alright then, I appreciate it. Alright. Pull myself up out of the grand bath and sit down on the bath stool as directed by Sachi. The Sama honorific for like a girlfriend situation is probably the thing I would like least about this moment right now. Okay, I'm not Michiru. Personally, in real life, I would feel very awkward if someone like said sir to me, or I don't say sir, like even in my job, I can't say sir to people. I don't expect anyone to say sir to me, like ever. It's just not how I work mentally. That's not how I see a chain of command, sort of. I see it more as a structural thing for how to make things operate rather than a purely like someone above another sort of thing in the first place. So just respect to me is not a matter of that sort of stuff. Respect is something entirely different to me. So at the same time, in real life, I don't like that in the slightest. Now, if it was like my girlfriend that was doing it, and it's like, that's like 20 times worse. I don't like it or dislike it particularly. Yeah, I just want to know where this is coming from. Yeah. The mood, huh? Guess there's nothing for it then. Oh my. On second thought, that makes no damn sense at all. I suppose. Forget my maneuvering. Does this mood really require you to talk to me like I'm some feudal lord? How is that lewd? I think there are ways to show gratitude that don't involve any lewdness whatsoever, but I suppose there's no need to press the point. Alright, fine. Do it your way this time, Sachi.
では最初にお湯を流させていただきますね。
As soon as the words are out of her mouth, Sachi carefully picks up a bucket and dumps some pleasantly warm water over my shoulders.
お湯は熱くありませんか？
Yeah, feels fine.
では次にソープを泡立てさせていただきます。
Right. Next, she thoroughly lathers my back with a layer of frothy soap.
それでは失礼させていただきます。
After this line, I feel a distinctly soft sensation against my back. When did you have time to take off everything? At the same time, there's a nasal little moan not far behind my ear. Do you realize nipples don't necessarily create the sort of rough texture that a sponge might, that makes it effective in cleaning my back? Sachi, you do realize that, right? Sachi, what the hell are you doing?
私はただユージ様のお背中を洗わせていただいているだけですよ。
I see. Well, as long as you're washing my back, I guess it's all good. As if. Were you seriously expecting me to just roll with this?
ひどいですユウ君。どうして叩くんですか？
Because you pressed your chest against me out of nowhere. Isn't that the natural reaction?
大抵の男性はしばらくきょとんとした後、ラッキーと拳を握りしめるのではないでしょうか。
It's not really lucky, but... yeah, actually, you might be right about that one. Damn it.
だったら問題ありませんよね。
No, look, I'm trying to ask why you felt the need to molest me like this. I just want an explanation. You do have a reason for doing this, right?
理由ですか？
Such an alien concept, I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you didn't just think this up on the spur of the moment.
さすがユウ君。相変わらず私の心が見えているかのような推察です。
Spare me the misguided admiration and get to the explanation.
はい、実は昨日のことがずっと気になっていたんです。
Yesterday's events.
はい。あの後ユウ君が最後までしようとしなかったのは私のセックスアピール不足が原因ということになりまして。
So apparently he usually cut it halfway through because he's feeling guilty about it, really. And, well, that's basically what I figured. Like in the uncensored version, they are much more explicit about that. I like to think that, even if it was in the uncensored version, that him feeling guilty made his Woody go whoop whoop and made mulch and all that stuff and just went, you know, flaccid.
今日はモテる限りのいやらしさでユウ君にも気持ちよくなってもらおうということになったんです。
Oh boy. Now I get it. Come to think of it, she did seem a little uneasy after the fact. I guess the sudden aggressive approach makes sense given the context. So, who put that idea into your head?
榊さんです。
So... wait... Sakaki? Seriously?
はい。ユウ君を大浴場に誘導して迫るという作戦は榊さんが考えてくださいました。
Oh my, okay. You sure you don't mean Amane?
いいえ、間違いなく榊さんです。しかも親身になって相談にも乗っていただきました。
And a little bit more than a blush. That girl giving out advice, let alone in a kindly way, is definitely a little bit surprising. But when you account for everything she's picked up from browsing the internet all the time, Sakaki might well have a money beat when it comes to secondhand knowledge about sex. In other words, I have Cyber Sakaki to thank for this.
はい。私はメイド色が強いということもあって、そこを生かすべきだという話になったので。
Oh my. Can't deny that it stimulates the male lust for conquest.
はい。ユウ君がメイド嫌いでなくてよかったです。
Okay, so that's why she asked that question at the school gate earlier.
それでこのまま体を洗わせていただいてもよろしいでしょうか。
Before then, I want to clear up a misunderstanding of yours.
誤解ですか？
Yeah, I thought I said this before, but you've got the wrong idea about why I stopped yesterday. It's not that I don't think that you're attractive.
そうなんですか？
It is. For example, I find it fairly arousing when you get naked and press your chest against me. What a line, what a line.
なら、よかったです。
Hearing my reply, Sachi smiles with evident happiness. Imagining the girl earnestly plotting out this ridiculous plan, it's a little hard to hold back a wry smile of my own. But then again, that kind of awkwardness might not be that atypical for someone this inexperienced. Alright, Sachi, go ahead.
はい。小峰幸、一生懸命サービスさせていただきます。
This is the fucking weirdest relationship, I swear. I swear. When she emerges from the grand bath a few minutes after me, Sachi's beaming smile is noticeably more energetic than usual. You're in a good mood?
はい。当初の目的を達成して、榊さんの恩に報いることができましたから。
Wait, what? You repaid it? How? Is she supposed to be dead or just a full year?
しかも、あろうことか、ゆうくんから体を洗っていただきました。
Any day, babe.
一見、無謀とも言える作戦がうまくいったのは、熱心に指導していただいた榊さんのおかげです。
I guess I owe her one then.
はい。
Anyway, you feeling a little relieved now?
はい。こんな私でも、ゆうくんに気持ちよくなってもらえることが分かって嬉しいです。
Oh my goodness. Well, it seems you're in a pretty good mood already, but I've actually got another little treat for you, and it does not involve my dick this time.
良い知らせ。まさか明日からゆうくんもメイド服を着てくれるというサ
No,
プライ
no,
ズでしょう
no,
か。
no, 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 I said a treat, not a horror show. Let me take you on a date to the beach tomorrow. That was an order, Yuuji. You should have phrased it differently. Sachi, you listening?
すみません。あまりの衝撃に思わず返事をするのを忘れてしまっていました。
Yeah, I laugh at this point, but I know you're completely serious. She looks pretty pleased, though. Inviting her seems to have been the right choice. So anyway, I guess that means you're up for the beach.
はい。オールグリーンです。
Sachi bends an elbow and strikes the same empathetic salute she used in our earlier training session. Her almost childish enthusiasm is blatantly obvious from the tone of her voice alone. She's not just pleased, she's genuinely excited. By the way, if there's something in your mind, you can talk to me about it next time. I mean, if you want to bring in Sakaki for it too, I mean, the more opinions, the better we can get down to the truth of things, right? You know? You said it yourself, didn't you? You're my girlfriend first. I might be a pretty half-assed excuse for a human being, but I do know how to listen when people I care about talk.
ゆうくん。
Not that I'm asking you to tell me everything, just want you to know that there's no need to be so reserved. You understand what I'm telling you?
はい。ありがとうございます、ゆうくん。
Right. Did I just get up and you're already here and made enough fun? I'm standing a few feet away from my front door, about to head out for my daily run. Oh, okay. When Sachi watches into the room without so much as a knock. This abrupt face-to-face encounter is followed by a long moment of silence.
わあ、ゆうくんがもう起きています。
Huh? Okay, that was a little forced.
いえ、私の中ではまだ寝ているゆうくんを起こす予定だったので、とても動揺しています。
Why do I not believe you? She doesn't really look perturbed in the slightest, but I guess that's on par for the course. That's par for the course. Yeah, I get it. You know, I'm usually awake by now, don't you?
そういえば、ゆうくんが寝坊しているところは見たことがないような気がします。
Yeah, when you've got a fixed routine like mine, you don't even need an alarm clock to wake up at the same time every day.
さすがゆうくんです。その頑張りをたたえて、有事に目覚まし。新しいことわざを申請したいくらいです。
No, that's really bad. No. Very original. Great. Anyway, why did you decide to come wake me up all of a sudden?
実は、みちる様のお部屋をお掃除していた時に見つけた漫画に、
Okay.
彼女というものは 毎日朝寝坊する彼氏を全くしょうがないわねとつぶやきながら揺さぶって起こすものだと書いてあったので。
You're not a Mane. You don't have the same voice actress as Why am I forgetting names? Oh my goodness, the one that's not Maya. I'm forgetting names. I'm horrible with names. If you have not picked up on that, because I'm sure I've mentioned it before. Oh, why am I forgetting? I didn't finish it that long ago. As soon as I fucking see the name, I'm gonna remember it so goddamn quickly. Samika. Why did I not remember that name? It's so obvious. Fuck. Yes, I am hopeless, Sachi. But you don't have the same voice actress as Samika. You can't do that. That's not your role. Right. I think there are probably a pretty decent number of perfectly happy couples that don't quite fit the mold, that mold in the real world, but it certainly sounds like the sort of thing Michio would enjoy. But then again, Sachi is the childhood friend character in this, isn't she? Somewhat belated, Sachi offers me a greeting and a slight bow. We've been talking for 5 minutes already, you know. That's not horrible advice. Definitely would set off the mood correctly. Trying to follow your parents' advice isn't a bad thing by any means, but I don't quite get the point of saying hello halfway through the conversation. Saying hello is good enough to make you happy. The girl's pretty fired up first thing in the morning, and I guess I'd say she's really looking forward to that date on the beach. No, I was just about to do my daily running first. Well, want to try tagging along today? She the declining something. Oh my goodness. Makes sense. I briefly thought running with Sachi might be kind of enjoyable in a way, but come to think of it, jogging around town at dawn with a girl in full maid uniform probably would have earned me a few odd looks. Yeah, but that might be enjoyable in its own way. In that case, I better get started before Mane gets up. With those words and demure bow, Sachi quietly leaves my room. Recently, the girl started letting her emotions show more openly in her tone and attitude. The most striking examples being yesterday's service and today's invasion of my room. What's more, she's asking more questions and thinking things over more thoroughly than before. Never used to notice Sachi lost in thought, but these days it's not an uncommon sight. And most promising of all, some of this is beginning to happen spontaneously. I can't think her little raid just now had anything to do with any of my orders. She's changing through the expression of her own free will, not in obedience to someone else's instructions. Which means it probably won't be too long until she finds herself facing a critical question. Yeah. Ultimately, the critical question of, do I do something for my happiness, or do I do something because I be a quote-unquote typical good girl? This is when you close the door and let your imagination run wild at what was happening.
でもなんでこんな時間に？
I
やっ
don't,
ぱ交渉？
I don't know, with bombs that big, perfectly possible. And then again, you definitely have the, assets on your side of the conflict to return fire.
今日は少し早起きしたからみんなに朝の挨拶をして回ろうと思って。
挨拶？何か急用があったとかそういうんじゃないの？
はい、本当に挨拶しに来ただけです。
そう。
はい。
じゃあ一応おはよう。おはようなのよ。
はい、おはようございます。それでは今日も良い一日を。
って挨拶済んだら本当に行っちゃったよ、あの子。なんかめちゃくちゃテンション高かったけど。さあ。
次はみちる様のお部屋。
It's gonna be good.
あ、スカートの裾濡れちゃってる。そういえばゆうくんはよくやっぱりメイド服かって言うけど、やっぱり同じ服ばかりだと飽きちゃうのかな。
Ooh. Or maybe this was the big choice that Yuuji was talking about. Should I take off the maid uniform?
でもなるべくメイド服を着た方がいいっていうみんなからの提案もあるし。そうだ、昨日は榊さんに相談してうまくいったし、今度はみちる様に相談してみよう。
Oh my goodness, I hope she's not stupid about this.
鍵はかかってる。
Did you try knocking?
それなら。
She's gonna pick it.
おはようございます、みちる様。
She totally picked the lock.
みちる様、朝ですよ。
若ユージ、それはツンデレじゃなくてアンデレよ。
Sundary? The fuck is sun? Oh, it's just a pun?
例のものは？
What? Ah.
例のものは？例のものは？
サチ。
Is that a reference? I don't get that.
例のものは？
いた
例のものは？
ちょっと待ってサチ。なんで私叩かれてるの？それに例のものって何？
すみません、みちる様に朝の挨拶をと思ったのですが、なかなか起きてくださらなかったので。
だからって叩く必要あった？
Yes?
あとはみちる様が楽しそうなゆうくんの夢を見ていたのも少し。
Ha ha, you got jealous, you got
いや、
jealous.
少しって明らかにそっちが主因よね。焼き餅でしょそれ。
焼き餅。お餅が食べたくなったんですか、みちる様。
あんたそれ絶対わざとでしょ。っていうか私は部屋に鍵をかけて寝たはずなんだけど、どうして入ってこれてるわけ？
開けました。
開けましたってそんないい笑顔で言われても。
Yeah.
それよりみちる様に相談があるんです。
相談？サチが私に相談なんて初めてじゃない？
そうだったでしょうか。
You know, if Sachi's really worried about the repetitive choice of clothing thing, then everyone should be worried about that.
多分ね。あんたは大抵のことなら何でもこなせちゃうから。まあいいわ。可愛い後輩の頼みなら断るわけにもいかないし。着替えるからちょっと待ってなさい。
はい、着替えならこちらにご用意させていただきました。
さすがサチ。
ではみちる様が身支度を整えられている間に、私は榊さんを起こしに行ってきますね。
Walks in, she's just like in a dark room. You only can see the computer light, and she's just like.
起こしに行くってユミコの場合これから寝るんじゃないの？
What? Wait, what?
そろそろ寝ようかしら。
On the roof?
ドアノブが
Oh no, it's the room.
何？もしかして泥棒なの？こんな学園の寮に。
Does she even have a room art?
でも鍵はかけてあるからそう簡単に入ってこれないはず。諦めてくれたのかしら。
さあサチ、準備は整ったし早速始めようじゃないの。第1回ツンデレ会議を。
Okay, so I'm guessing Sakaki has to be here. Okay, I'm guessing they just don't use her room for anything else in this? And they didn't want to make art for that one little scene, maybe?
みちる様、私は別にツンデレについて相談したいわけではありませんよ。
そうなの？私に相談って言ったらツンデレに関してじゃない？常識的に
いえ、私が相談したいのはおしゃれに関してなんです。
おしゃれっていうと服装とか髪型のこと？
その中でも服装に関してのことですね。
I will reiterate that I actually still think Michiru has the best fashion sense. At least out of the casual clothing, I like hers the best still.
それを私にね。
はい、おしゃれのことはおしゃれ発信基地の異名を持つみちる様に相談すべきだと思いまして。
おしゃれ発信基地、いい、すごくいい響きだわ。
この小峰幸、みちる様の前衛的なファッションには以前から一目置かせていただいていました。
ふふふ、さすがこの私が一番信頼を置いているサチね。あまねなんかに相談していたら裸なのか服着てるのかわかんない格好をさせられてたわよ。
正直あまねさんのような格好をするには胸が足りな。
違うわよサチ、私たちは貧乳なんじゃなくて、ただ第二次成長が遅れてるの。ちょっと遅刻しちゃってるだけなのよ。
Your breasts are fine. They're fine.
私も貧乳とまでは言っていないのですが。
Yeah.
平気、牛乳いっぱい飲めば胸は大きくなるんだから。
It's not how. Well, you know, whatever.
みちる様、ここで悲しいお知らせなのですが、牛乳を飲むと胸が大きくなるという説に科学的根拠は全くないそうです。
じゃあなんでそんなデマが。
Michiru, where it came from was desperation. Okay, I'm gonna not put my mouth on the microphone now.
まさか情報操作。胸の小さな女の子で低迷している牛乳の消費量を上げようという国家的策略なのね。
いえ、違います。それよりみちる様、わざわざ教室に場所を移したのはまきちゃん対策でしょうか？
その通りよ。寮じゃ落ち着いて話なんかできないから。
榊さんも同じようなことを言っていたのですが、皆さんマキちゃんのことを警戒しますよね。
だってマキナよ。
Makina's gonna give like great advice somewhere down the. Hasn't she been the most mature about this? I think she'd be decent and not too heavy-handed about. Yeah, maybe.
そう言われると納得してしまうからすごいですね、マキちゃんは。
昔からバカと天才は紙一重って言うからね。
はい。
で、話が獣道にそれちゃったけど、服装に関する相談ってどんなこと？
実はこのメイド服に関することなのですが。
ああ、そうだ、メイド服で思い出したけど、どうしてサチって掃除とかしてない時もメイド服なの？
それはみちる様たちがなるべくメイド服を着た方がいいとおっしゃったからです。
それだけ？
はい。
じゃあメイド服が自分に似合うからとか、メイド服を着てないと大きな猿に変身しちゃうとか、そういうこともないの？
Okay, that was random, which means Michiru probably actually thought that might be the case.
メイド服は動きやすいので気に入っていますが、やむにやまれぬ事情があるというわけではありません。
あんたって子はどんだけ人がいいのよ。あんなのただの提案なんだから、無理して守る必要ないのに。
そうだったんですか？
Oh, No. This'll just turn her world upside down.
マキナやアマネだって気が向いたらってくらいのニュアンスで言ってたはずよ。それにサチだって女の子なんだから着てみたい服だってたくさんあるでしょう。
いえ、今までは特にそういうこともなかったのですが。
じゃあ今は違うのね。
はい、最近ゆうくんがやっぱりメイド服かと口にするのが気になって、やはり私もメイド服以外の服を着るようにした方がいいのかと悩んで。
なるほどね。
それとも私がそんなことを考えるのはおかしなことでしょうか。
そんなわけないでしょ。女の子ならもっとおしゃれしたいって思うのが当然じゃない。
おしゃれしたいと思うのは当然。
まあユージくらいの僕年人になるとずっとメイド服着てても明らかな文句は言わないでしょうけど、あいつだって可愛い服を着てるサチを見て嬉しくないはずがないもの。
Captain Closed Mouth. Okay. Interesting.
ではもし私がゆうくんから買っていただいた服を着たらゆうくんは喜んでくれるでしょうか。
Yes! That's so obvious. Also, I don't think you even mentioned that I bought them.
何そんなのがあるの？
はい、この前デートした時に買っていただいたのですが、なんだかもったいない気がして着る機会がなく。
それを早く言いなさいよ。プレゼントされた服があるならさっさと着ちゃわないと損じゃない。
そういうものなのでしょうか。
いいサチ、いくらクローゼットの中で大事にしてたってユージには伝わらないのよ。
Casing at them inside your... What do you do, Michiru?
さすがみちる様です。私久しぶりに目から鱗が落ちました。
God, she hasn't said that in a while.
別に私がすごいわけじゃなくてサチがちょっと真面目すぎるのよ。
そうでしょうか。
まあ何にせよ今日私に相談してくれてよかったわよ。
そうなんですか。
だってこの私がサチにとっておきのコーディネートを考えてあげられるんだから。
I mean, yeah, I like her style, so I'm interested in what she comes up with.
はい、よろしくお願いします、みちる様。
This is either going to be the worst thing in the world or the best thing in the world. I don't know. 3 minutes left. I'm waiting for Sachi just outside the gate, where we'd arranged to meet up earlier this morning. It's not like Michiru was in her room a few minutes ago, but I doubt Sachi let that hold her up. That said, we've got to get going pretty soon or we won't catch the bus. I muttered to myself and glanced at my watch, but the next instant, there's the trotting sound of footsteps approaching from the direction of the dorm. Precisely on time, as always.
すみません、少し着替えに時間を取ってしまいました。
Ah, I like it. Nice color coordination. I turn around to find myself face to face with an unknown individual.
どうかしましたか？
Who are you supposed to be?
今の質問が謎かけでないのなら、私はあなたの彼女の小峰幸です、と答えます。
True, you did an impressive job reproducing your face, but there's fundamental flaw in your little disguise. Sachi, I know, always wears a maid uniform.
それは昨日までの小峰幸です。
Maybe this is like one of those, like, scams. I know it's a thing in Japan where they like call up, it's like, hi, I forget exactly how it's supposed to work, but they like act like they're your family members, like, hey, what's up, it's me, it's this person, and then they just like pretend they're a person you know, so they can scam you. I think it's supposed to be particularly used on old people. Yeah, I think that's what's happening. Definitely. Say what? Alright, don't jump to conclusions. Let's say she isn't lying. Is there any other way to explain this? Did someone spike my tea?
私がこういう服を着ているのはそこまで意外なことなのでしょうか。
Downright shocking. Almost as bad as that one time where everyone else at the table started pouring sugar into their natto instead of salt.
それは確かに驚きます。納豆に混ぜるのはマヨネーズが基本のはずですから。
What? I have no idea, but that sounds disgusting. Considering her demeanor and willingness to roll with the conversation, it does really seem this must be the genuine Sachi.
でもお父さんはマヨネーズと一緒にお醤油もかけるし。
Is mayo actually typical? I don't even eat natto. I'm not even sure what natto is. But seriously, I don't think I've ever had a simple change of clothes completely transform my impression of someone like this before. In her school uniform, she comes off as a well-bred class rep type. In her other uniform, she's the very picture of a maid. But Sachi before my eyes is the girl I knew when I was young. It's like I'm staring at a vivid memory from the days where she'd pull me around at the playground.
それで私が小峰幸だということは分かっていただけたでしょうか。
Yeah, I am. But why do you so suddenly take off the maid uniform?
それはゆうくんがやっぱりメイド服かと口にすることが多かったからです。
Yeah, I just said what I was thinking.
なのでメイド服以外の格好、ゆうくんに買っていただいた服を着ている私も見ていただこうと思ったんです。
I see, I see. Most likely, this nicely coordinated outfit has something to do with Michiru's visit to Sachi's room just now. Not even a day after she got sexified from Sakagi. Come to think of it, wouldn't have guessed it at first, but but it seems the school is packed full of helpful types.
それにゆうくんはその服はお前が着たいと思った時に着てくれればいいと言ってくれました。私が可愛い服を着たいと思う時、それがゆうくんと海でデートができる今日だったんです。
That's perfectly fair. For the first time since I entered Miyama Academy, Sachi's wearing something other than a maid uniform. And her motivation is a simple desire to show me that how she looks in other clothing. I should probably be celebrating her taking such clear action on her own initiative. But to be perfectly honest, I'm happy to know that she wants to look nice for my benefit. I see. Thank you, Sachi.
いえ、私の方こそこんなに可愛い服が着れて嬉しいですから。
I must Sachi's hair around with my hand, and her face goes slightly pink. They're pretty sporty clothes. More or less the exact opposite of the maid uniform. But it actually works for you. You look good.
それは本当でしょうか。
As soon as I express my thoughts, Sachi closes the distance between us in the blink of an eye, a serious expression on her face. Yeah. My sound a little overblown, but the clothes look so natural on her that I almost believe she's dressing like this. She's been dressing like this all along. Of course, that's probably because I've still got a vivid mental image of the way she was as a kid. I mean, you know I'm not much good at flattery, right?
そうですね。ゆうくんのお世辞は皮肉になってしまう場合が多いですから。
Ah, that's nice. Well, that's just how it is.
でもゆうくんに似合っていると言われるのは嬉しいです。
Even as she speaks, there's an irrepressible, energetic grin on her face. It's not like her, in a good way. It's like I've caught a glimpse of the real Sachi, the person hidden behind her iron wall of self-denial. Perfectly fine with me, if that's good enough to make you happy. But the date hasn't even started yet.
はい、どんなデートになるのか今からとても楽しみです。ずっとこの日のままで穏やかな笑顔だけ見てみたい。
Unlike our group trip from summer break, today we caught a crosstown bus for a shaky ride to the sea. When we arrived, Sachi drives out to the beach, a few strides ahead of me. Watching as she crouches down to play with the waves while softly singing her favorite song, I conclude that her good humor hasn't been dampened by the journey. Sounds like you're in a good mood, Sachi.
はい、これからゆうくんがサメさんと血みどろの死闘を繰り広げるかと思うと自然と胸が高鳴ってしまいます。
Well, I'm not one to disappoint, you know? Better get to it. Sorry to disappoint, crap. But that's not going to happen. Ever.
ということはサメさんと敵対するのではなく種族間の垣根を越えた友達になる道を選ぶというわけですね。
Well, I've already sort of done it with a bunch of dogs at Miyama, so...
さすがゆうくんです。ラブ&ピースです。
Hey, I'm not going to comment on your reasoning there. But if a shark shows up anywhere near the swimming area, they'd obviously keep everyone out of the water.
そういえばそうでした。
Oh, such disappointment. That's not really something you should look so disappointed about. But anyway, Sachi's clearly more fired up about this date than she was on the group trip. I can't exactly criticize her for being happy, even if enthusiasm does seem to take a slightly bizarre form. Well, we're at the beach, so far, so good. What do you want to do first?
ゆうくんが望まれるなら、私はどんな遊びでも構いませんよ。
Even so, it doesn't seem she has any specific requests for me. Okay, let me ask you something. A trip before the break wasn't your first time at the beach, was it?
はい、まだ小さかった頃、お父さんとお母さんに何度か連れて行ってもらったことがありますから。
Okay, so what sort of things did you do back then?
そうですね。浮き輪に乗って水かけっこをしたり、お母さんと砂遊びをしていたと思います。
Alright, water fight sounds like a decent place to start.
私はそれで全然問題ないのですが、ゆうくんの方こそ水かけっこで構わないんですか？
Sad to say, I'm pretty unfamiliar with this sort of thing. Since neither of us have any proposals of our own, following your parents' example sounds like a decent idea. You're always saying how much you love them after all.
ゆうくん。
So unless you have some objection to the plan, I guess we should get change into our swimsuits. What do you say, Sachi?
もちろん、私は大賛成です。お待たせしました。小峰幸水着バージョンです。
I'm surprised. Did it show it before? Or did she have a maid uniform previously? I forget. I was actually expecting more black to it, considering, you know, the color scheme that you got going there. I don't remember if it showed it last time, but I was half expecting a maid uniform-based swimsuit. I settled down to wait after stripping into my swim trunks, but since it's not even 10 minutes before Sachi returns from the changing room. That's pretty fast changing clothes by female standards.
はい、急いで着替えを済ませたので、何かが見えてしまっていても気にしないことにしました。
Great. I really think that warrants some heat paying.
すみません。どうしても着替えにかける時間が惜しく感じてしまって。
Well, now I've completely lost the will to lecture her. I guess I'm a typical male in some respects.
それから水着は前回と同じものになってしまったのですが、問題なかったでしょうか。
Okay, so she did wear one last time. It's been a fucking while, man. Man, if you go like look at that episode's date, even when I fucking like posted it probably a long time ago now. And no need to worry about that. Novelty is always nice, but I don't want you splashing around the water in maid clothes or anything.
わかりました。ゆうくんがそうおっしゃるなら、メイド服の出番はまた今度ということで。
Make sure you only use that if you really need it as a maid uniform, please. How did I know? Also, as a risk aversion measure, I like to avoid playing in densely occupied areas. Is that alright with you?
それはもしかして私の身を案じてのことでしょうか。
Yeah, no different from scuba diving or whatever. The first priority is making sure your buddy's safe.
バディ、つまりここでの私はゆうくんの相棒ということですね。
I'm pretty sure the girlfriend thing was really what made that obvious, but okay. I think you've misunderstood slightly, but whatever. Unless you have an objection, how about we get going?
はい、心の準備はできていますので、なんならもっと人気のない場所でも。
Sachi's little flight solution came to an abrupt halt as we make our way past the beach house. She freezes on the spot, staring fixedly at a nearby stall. Something wrong?
見てください、ゆうくん。サメさんのフロートがレンタル中です。
You really like sharks. She really does like sharks, doesn't she? Yeah, so they are. Okay, let's go.
見てください、ゆうくん。サメさんのフロートがレンタル中です。
You told me already. Oh. You can just say you want one. Muttering in mild exasperation, I hand over a few bills to the white-haired old man behind the counter.
すみません。このサメさんが橋の下に捨てられた猫さんのような瞳で私を見つめてくるもので。
You really like sharks. This strikes me as a slightly self-serving account of events. Like, isn't the bag she made for Michiru based on a shark? That's also been a fucking while since that scene, so I don't remember the details. And then the shark ribbons she was getting from Michiru. And then this, and the shark thing she mentioned earlier.
しかも青ザメからシュモクザメまで取り揃えているとなると、
どのサメさんにするか迷ってしまいます。
Nimble Mako. I can't say I'm familiar with that one. Don't seem to be very interested in the Sachi orchard, though.
だってシャチとサチって似てるじゃないですか。
I see. The girl seems to have a fairly unique method of classifying sea life.
決めました。今回はこのジンベエザメさんにすることにします。
Congrats. You sure about that?
はい、そうと決まれば早くこのサメさんを海に浮かべましょう。
Please remember that we're renting these. Sounds like a plan.
見てください、ユウくん。私今サメさんに乗っています。
As we wade out from the shallows, Sachi slides herself on top of the shark float and calls out in a happy tone of voice. So you are. Looks fun.
どうしたんですか、ユウくん。さっきより元気がなくなっているみたいですが。
No, I think you've just gotten yourself worked up into a fever pinch.
確かにそうかもしれません。このサメさんにまたがってからなんだか胸の高鳴りが止まりません。
It's good to know a shark floaty gets her more excited than I do. Great. That really helps my male ego.
例えるならこう三国志の豪傑呂布が関戸場にまたがった時のような力強さが。
No idea what that is. I've been wondering this for a while now, but why do you love sharks so much?
それを語り出すと2時間ほどかかってしまうのですが、よろしいですか？
Abbreviated version, and then I'll decide if I want to do the whole thing. You do me a favor and squeeze it down to like 3 minutes.
わかりました。では簡潔に説明させていただきますが、私がお父さんとお母さんから初めて買ってもらったプレゼントがサメさんのぬいぐるみだったんです。
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You wanted 2 hours to explain that?
いえ、本来ならそこから私がどのような形でサメさんへの愛着を深めていったかのお話を。
That wasn't even 3 minutes either. Yeah, I think I'll take a pass on that, but rest assured, I'm now fully convinced that you're a shark fanatic without peer.
ありがとうございます。
Should you really be thanking me for that one? We're fated to part with Mr. Shark in only 3 short hours, but enjoy it to the full so I can.
はい、サメさんとのコンビネーションを駆使してユウくんに水をかけまくります。
Ah, yes, the water fight. Very well, you better come at me with the determination of Marines storming Vietnam's fearsome Iron Triangle.
望むところです。
I don't know what the Iron Triangle is. Probably something to do with the jungle warfare aspect of it.
ユウくんは強すぎます。
Hey, I'm a well-trained military male. And you're made, while very capable, not really the sort that is extremely athletic and physical. At least not as much anymore. Not trained in that way. Her stamina completely exhausted, Sachi trudges along my side, moaning reproachfully. The limp deflated shark float under her arms eloquently tells the tale of our fierce and tragic battle. You lost because you stayed on the shark until the bitter end. It's a fairly limited year mobility.
一方、ユウくんは長い間水中に身を潜めてからのゲリラ攻撃でしたから出現予測が難しく。
Truly the greatest metaphor for the Vietnam War. Yeah, a simple application of the underground tunnel strategy the VC adopted in reaction to the American reliance against Agent Orange in the area of bombing.
おかげでユウくんの体力は底なしだということを思い知らされました。
Muttering to herself in a disappointed tone, Sachi drops limply into the sand and draws a few long, ragged breaths. After that lengthy struggle, I guess it's only natural that she'd be a little tired. That said, you got nothing to be depressed about. You did pretty damn good to hang with me as long as you did.
ありがとうございます。
Feel like taking a short break? We can put playing with the sand on hold for a little while.
私なら大丈夫です。まだやれます。
What? Now she's a bloodied boxer trying to convince the referee for another round. Say, but I just saw you more or less collapse into the ground.
それでも平気です。あれは水かけ用の体力で、砂遊び用の体力はちゃんと温存してありますから。
Do you now? Sure, fine, let's leave it at that. Alright, since you're that determined, let's move on to the sandcastle.
はい、前回来た時に見つけた絶好のサンドアートスポットがありますので、誰かに取られてしまわないうちに確保しましょう。
Is that really going to be an issue? Sachi pushes herself off the beach and strides off with a newfound determination, mumbling a few dubious words to myself. I follow her in her wake.
それじゃあまたね、お姉ちゃん。
Did we start playing with the kids then?
バイバイ。
Never
目
mind.
つきの悪い兄ちゃんもまたな。
Right. After changing, I can imagine just Yuuji growling at him. After changing back to our street clothes, we say goodbye and watch the children scamper up the orange-dyed beach. To our side tower. Tower's a structure that's less a child's sandcastle, more genuine castle sand. Apparently Sachi missed her chance to build some castle or other the last time we were here, so the two of us began constructing it. But Sachi's silent, diligent labors, reminiscent of a well-trained recruit digging some massive ditch, quickly attracted a bustling crowd of curious children. In the end, we integrated them into a large-scale operation. You're probably with the kids everywhere you go, aren't you?
私にその自覚はないのですが、マキちゃんは話しかけやすいオーラが出てると言っていました。
Interesting. An aura of approachability, huh? Come to think of it, I felt something like that when I met her as a child.
でも、あの子たちが手伝ってくれたおかげで、とても立派なお城が作れました。
Sachi gently runs a finger along one parapet of her masterpiece. Her expression is filled with the satisfaction of an artist who's fulfilled their goal, but also tinged with a definite hint of fatigue. Looks like you use a lot of energy, though.
いえ、ベイちゃんも時間いっぱいまで私のことを見守ってくれていましたし、まだまだ大丈夫です。
Who? I'm going to guess that Alichan is... Was it Ailchan? Alichan? Probably Ailchan is her whale shark. Not sure where it got a name. It got a name though. Oh yeah, whale, ale. Definitely that.
見てください、ユウくん。海がとても綺麗です。
Yeah, with that setting sun and all.
前に来た時も思いましたが、やっぱりこういう景色は素敵ですね。
Smiling fondly, Sachi stares off into the vividly colored horizon. Watching her face from the side, it's almost enough to make me forget about the burden she's carrying. Hey, Sachi, you have fun today?
はい。今日は私の人生の中で一番楽しかった日と言ってしまってもいいかもしれません。
You enjoyed it that much?
はい。サメさんの浮き輪に乗って水かけっこをして、砂遊びでお城を作って、まるで小さい頃にユウくんと公園で遊んでいた時のような楽しさを感じてしまいました。
Yeah, there definitely was that sort of tone about it. Sachi expresses her feelings in unusual detail, gesticulating with enthusiastically. Her happiness is so obvious that I'm forced to give myself a mental pat on the back for inviting her. I see. Well, that's definitely good to hear.
そういうユウくんは楽しかったですか？
I hadn't quite expected this question. For a moment, I'm at a loss for a response.
楽しくなかったですか？
No, I did enjoy myself. Wasn't half bad messing around like a kid again.
それなら良かったです。
But why do you ask?
それは周りの反応ばかりを気にして自分の気持ちなんて考えていないようなところが昔のユウくんにはあったからです。
Aren't we alike? So that's how Sachi saw me as a kid. Yeah, I suppose that. That was definitely part of it. Yeah, no, I can see that, yeah. Maybe I did back then. But people do change. You used to be a tomboy who pulled people around the playground, remember?
そうですね。あの頃の私は本当に悪い子でしたから。
You really think so?
はい。
As I suspected, Sachi is still plagued by regret. I'm more convinced than ever that she's consciously blames herself for what happened. Her voice has grown thick with grief, as if she's barely suppressing the desire to shout out bitter apologies. Alright, I guess that's enough reminiscing for one day. Let's get going before the buses stop running. But when I cut off the conversation, Sachi jerks her head up to stare in my eyes. Something wrong?
いえ、どうかしていません。
Okay then. Her reaction just now clearly suggested she had something to say. But I'm not going to drag it out of her. After a moment's pause, I began to walk up the beach towards nearby bus stop. that instance, I feel something pulling on me from behind. When I turn back, Sachi's reached out with one hand to grab my sleeve. Sachi? I call her name, but there's no immediate response. You have something you want to say? Don't want to go home yet.
まだ帰りたくありません。もっともっとゆうくんと一緒に遊んでいたいです。
In response to my decisive, let's get going, she offers outright resistance. There's no real logic behind her objection. It's a selfish emotional demand, nothing more. To hear such words coming from Sachi's mouth, it's so surprising that I find myself entirely lost for an answer. And even as the silence stretches on, her hand maintains its timid but steady grip on the sleeve of my shirt. Sachi? Her face is downcast, her eyes avoiding mine. But I can't make out her expression. But I can tell that her cheeks have grown red. Normally speaking, this would be nothing but a cute moment of selfishness, the sort of thing girlfriends are generally entitled to. But in this case, it represents a serious violation of Sachi's internal rules. I understand what you're saying, but can you let go of me for a second?
すみません。今すぐに。
My words finally snap Sachi out of this little reverie, and she jerks her hand back as if bitten by a snake.
すみません。私、自分でわがままを言うのは悪い子だって言っておきながら、あんなことを。今のは完全に私の失言ですので、ゆうくんも忘れてください。
Sachi bows in flustered apology, her voice tinged with regret. Judging from her reaction, it's obvious that her behavior right now was a pure spur-of-the-moment reflex. She clearly hadn't even seen it coming, any more than I had. You never see it coming. Okay, I understand that was a slip on your part, but I can't promise you that I'll forget it. Tell me something. If he knew it was a bad thing to do, why'd he grab my clothes in the first place?
それはゆうくんと一緒にいるのが楽しかったからだと思います。
Even so, there's no way you would have said anything like that before.
それはそうかもしれません。
So why now? Why do you think you said that, Sachi?
それは自分でもわかりません。
So, you haven't quite realized it yet, huh? Not consciously, at least. Okay, Sachi. I want to have a serious conversation.
真面目な話ですか?
Yeah. If Sachi's ever going to regain what she needs to be whole again, this is where things have to start. This is my chance. Silently steeling myself, I stare directly into Sachi's eyes. Do you remember what I told you on the rooftop?
学園の屋上でということは私たちが付き合うことになった日のことでしょうか?
Yeah. I told you I was going to help you be yourself, right?
はい。あの日の言葉はしっかりと覚えています。
Sachi closes her eyes as if to recall the scene in question. In other words, Sachi, I was saying that right now, you're not yourself.
私じゃない。
That's right. Blaming yourself entirely for events from your past. Focused on being a more perfect good girl than anyone else. Never asking for anything. Keeping a tight lid on your own thoughts. Obeying every order you receive like some kind of robot. That's the person you are today.
じゃあ、もしかしてゆうくんは私に何があったのかを。
Of course. I know about the accident on your birthday. And I know how you've lived since then. That said, I'm not going to tell you the path you chose was wrong. Why do you look so surprised?
だって今の私が私でいられていないとしたらそれはいけないことだって言われると思ったから。
Well, from a normal perspective, maybe it would be, but fortunately, I'm pretty warped myself. I don't want to judge you. I just want you to realize something.
気づいてほしいだけ?
Yeah. In other words, you have to find the answer on your own.
自分で考える.
Why did you make that selfish request just now? What do I want you to realize? And finally, how should you live from now on? This is a formal request, and I know full well you cannot turn it down. You're a good girl. Does what she's told, right? In other words, you're not going to refuse.
それは
That said, I don't care how long it takes for you to figure it out. It shouldn't be an unreasonable demand, since there's no deadline.
確かにその通りですが.
So, do you accept?
はい、わかりました.
Thank you. It's a familiar exchange. Sai entered Mihaman Academy, I've heard it dozens of times. Faced with a request for help, Sachi nods her head and answers with the words, yes certainly. The gear shift in her head and a new task assumes top priority. Secure in the knowledge that my order's taken effect, I once more begin to walk up the beach. On the bus back to Mishima Cape, we sit side by side in the silence, gazing out the windows the whole way. It's a slightly unfortunate way to finish the beach date Sachi had been so enthusiastic about, but in exchange we've taken a crucial step forward. For the first time, the pathological good girl was outright selfish. In return, I offered her 3 cryptic questions. And what's more, she learned that I'm familiar with her past. All these events undoubtedly caught Sachi by surprise. Her head's likely packed full of questions, her mood unsettled and anxious. She's confronting a change in herself that she can't understand and struggling to decipher the meaning of the problem I've set for her. And in these matters, there's no mathematical formula to apply in order to get a correct solution. No simple cause and effect like pulling a trigger to kill a human being. For that very reason, Sachi has to find the answer herself. To realize what she's overlooking. That's her only chance to regain something like normality. Whew, okay. It is very difficult to say that's not probably like the best place to end an episode right now. I think I'm gonna do that. Maybe get dressed. I already put deodorant on, I'm fine. I'm good for today. Oh my. And yes, I did all that serious stuff while naked bar towel. I am still wearing the towel. It has slipped off a couple times though. Then again, I'm sitting on it, so it really just slipped off in the front. I'm sure a lot of you are so happy to hear about how naked I am. I'm sure it's so fun. Oh my goodness. Some of these days. So yeah, I think, that's where I'm going to end it for today. I do like this round. I like Sachi's development in it. I think it's fun. I think it's interesting to see her come out of that shell in a way. And I think Yuuji's doing a pretty good job of giving her the opportunity and motivation to open up and consider a different possibility than the reality that she's so fixedly decided was the case before. I mean, it's easy to see what direction it'll go. At least if it has a happy ending. There's usually the bad ending in these, isn't there? Oh, I wonder how that could go. I mean, it wouldn't be difficult for them to do a bad ending where she comes to a completely warped, delusional sort of answer that is like, Yuji's just like, well, that's what she convinced herself of, and it just like makes everything worse, all the problems at least, and she could easily come to a more reasonable answer and find a nice middle ground, which could be like the good ending. Maybe, possibly, I guess we'll see. So yeah, thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you all next time. Drive safely, everyone.